Hi there and welcome to this video. It's been requested that I do an overview of the suit of wands, and I thought that was a great idea. I thought that'd be very useful, so thanks very much for that. I'm going to start with what is on this page, which is called the deccan wheel. What you see in the middle here are the zodiac signs, and this is the natural course which the sun takes around the zodiac, starting with Aries, a fire sign, and then you've got Taurus, the earth sign, Gemini, the air sign, and then Cancer, the water sign. So we've got the four elements represented in all of these sections of the wheel here, and it's called a deccan wheel because each of the signs is subsequently divided into degrees of 10. So for each star sign, such as Aries here, we've got 0 to 10 degrees Aries, represented by the 2 of wands, 10 to 20 degrees Aries, represented by the 3, and 22 or 21 to 30 would be for the 4 of wands. So going on to the next slide here, what I've done is sectioned out those areas of the deccan wheel that are of particular interest to us. The fire signs are Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, and as you can see we've got the 2, 3 and 4 of wands, which are associated with Aries. We've got the 5, 6 and 7 of wands, which are associated with Leo. And we've got the 8, 9 and 10 of wands, which are associated with Sagittarius. The minor arcana cards are also associated with the Tree of Life. Here is the Tree of Life, starting with Keter at the top. Keter, Chokmah and Binah are similar to the Holy Trinity. The most elevated, the most spiritual of the energy centers on the Tree of Life is Keter. Energy flows from Keter into Chokmah, Binah, Hesed, following this yellow line here, sometimes called the lightning flash. Perhaps I should have had it in red. So Malkut here is the most material of the cards, which is associated with oppression here. So what I've done is just transposed the 10 of the minor arcana from the wand suit in their relative positions. So the ace would be here, the 2 here, the 3, 4, 5 and so on. So here we have it. I thought it may be useful just for you to see the cards themselves without all the background thing going on. So here we have the energy coming into the ace from up on high here, the 3 veils of negative existence, but that's for another talk. So the energy comes into the ace and it is channeled through the cards numerically until we get to oppression here. So what I'm now going to do is talk about each card in relation to its astrology and its position on the Tree of Life, and we'll look at how that energy changes as it goes and filters through the tree. Again, this is only an overview, so I hope to keep this very brief. So from the ace, the energy goes down to the 2 of wands. So the 2 of wands is the first decan of Aries, and it's associated with the title Dominion, which means to have rule over, to have authority over, and it's ruled by Mars in Aries. Now we first saw Mars and Aries in the major arcana in terms of the Emperor and the Tower, so both are very potent cards for different reasons. So we have to now think, what is the relationship between Mars and Aries? Is it harmonious? Is it not? Well, Mars is a natural ruler of Aries, and also it's ruler of this first decan of the zodiac wheel here. It's the ruler because it's that fire energy that gets the wheel started. It's like that fire and newness that spring is associated with. So this relationship here, Mars in Aries, gives this a very forceful appearance, because you essentially have a very dominant energy of Mars, which is very comfortable in the sign of Aries. So this translates to like living in alignment with your true will, which means finding your true purpose. It's these Tibetan thunderbolts here are representing the person's willpower to move through obstacles and find their true purpose in life, and it's like breaking through negativity. But there's also planning associated with this card, to actually plan your future ahead, so you actually know which direction your boat is sailing. So that's the Two of Wands in a nutshell, and we'll now move on to the three. Moving on from this fearsome Two of Wands, we now go into the calmer Three of Wands here, and it's called Virtue. Even though we've got Aries in as did the two, it's the energy of this card seems different. We've got the Sun in Aries, and it's to do with the middle decan here, where the energy of Aries is at its highest before it dissipates again in the Four. So the Sun, first of all, I've just said by virtue we mean our worthiness, to do with like morality and honour, sort of our goodliness, our sense of worth. And the Sun in Aries, well, the Sun is exalted in Aries, which means it feels very at home in this particular zodiac sign. So we've got a harmonious relationship. The Sun itself is a source of energy, life, it sustains the solar system, and it's our sense of self, because the Sun rules Tippereth on the Tree of Life, and this is right smack bang in the middle, just underneath Keter here, and it's associated also with Christ consciousness. B.O.T.A, which was the third Sephiroth here, this one is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a planet which gives rise to structure and form. So the meanings of this card is like understanding one's place in the world, because you're beginning to structure your life in accordance with your will, which we align to in Clark card in the Two of Wands. Developing an understanding of our virtues and talents, and essentially trusting ourselves, which is a yin sort of process compared to the yang of the Two of Wands, which is very forceful. So this is more like an inner thing. So those are the notes that I've compiled just for this card. We'll now move on to the last of the wands in the sign of Aries and see if there's any change in the energy of the card here. This is the last card I'm going to talk about in this video, and in subsequent videos we're going to talk about the three cards of Leo, and then finally in the third video in this particular topic we'll talk about three cards in Sagittarius. So for the Four of Wands, we have Venus in Aries. We've got a darker background here. You just about see the Venus and Aries on this card, and we've got a sense of completion in this wheel-like structure with the Four Wands. So we have Venus in Aries. Venus is actually ruled by Libra, and Libra's right over here, and it's also an air sign. So you'd think because it has to travel all the way over here, and that Aries is a fire sign, that you wouldn't necessarily have a harmonious relationship, but in fact they do. And it's all down to that beneficial effect that Venus brings, even though she is in her detriment here, so she shouldn't actually be doing Aries any favours. So Venus is to do with pleasure, music, love, beauty, creativity, and Aries we've seen is that fiery passion and inspiration. But if you think about it, in the major arcana you've got Venus associated with the Empress, and she is the natural match for the Emperor. So it's like they've both got something to learn and to integrate. So for this card, it plays out a meaning, a sense of completion, applying to your work and projects and other spheres of your life, could be spiritual aspects of your life. But it's like the aspect of Aries which gives the determination and the initiative that we saw in the first two cards, brings about like a contentment in, put your soul, your heart here, which is to do with Venus. So this is where these two energies blend between the Empress and the Emperor. It's like they both complement each other and support each other in a positive way. So in completion, you will actually find that the energy we've talked about so far, coming from the Ace, the 2, the 3, actually finds a sense of integration and fulfillment in the 4. But as we'll see in the next video, this is only a temporary stage. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.